Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Strike Thoughts. My name is Sandip, and I'm here with Pete. How you doing, mate?
Doing very well.
Back to work.
Yeah, back to work. Well, that's why I look a bit. Oh, you can't really see it here. Fucking masks fucking up my beard.
every time you finish work, you send a picture and you just got that line.
Oh, it's just that's how it keeps reminding me where my chin is. That's why I'm not shaving anymore.
Have you had a trim on your beard?
No. Man, I think I did it like maybe once in lockdown, and then I just left it. But then I realised everyone's like, "Oh, that's like the longest I've seen it." But I don't think it is. I'm just going to leave it though.
What are you going to do? Just going to keep growing it?
Yeah. Well, I might. I don't know what's happening yet. That's what I've got to talk to someone after this about whether I've got to do that film again. So,
of course,
it's either going to be a short one, sometime sort of this year, or we'll leave it till like early next year and do it properly. So I could fucking leave it till like after Christmas.
Fucking, it'll be down to your knees.
I know.
Look out for Mr. Frost in a film coming to your cinema screen soon. Pete, you didn't watch. Have you seen the prelims? Because if not, I can tell you about them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right. So on my BT, so UFC 251 is what we're going to be talking about just to start us off with today. When I put BT Sport on, so I didn't wake up to watch it, I just recorded it and watched it the day after. The recording actually started with one of the UFC Fight Pass fights, which is quite cool.
Okay.
So I caught just the end of Tybura against Grishin. It was already the second round. It was a heavyweight fight. Tybura was controlling the clinch, got a couple of takedowns, got into full mount. And Tybura ended up with a unanimous decision. No particular sort of highlights of this one, but yeah, I think they started the coverage a little bit late, so I caught a bit of a bonus fight there, which is quite cool. But the first fight was Santos against Bogatov in a lightweight fight, Peter. Really exciting fight. Round one was really, really close, a bit tetchy. And then round two, Santos landed some massive shots, but he ended up sort of punching himself out. Bogatov ended up on top, raining down shots. It was a really, really exciting round. Bogatov actually hit Santos in the cup twice. Cup shots, Pete. Starting to get like, I don't know, it's happening like more and more, and I think they're starting to even penalise people for like low shots now. So not just cup shots, but actually low blows. Have you seen that?
No, not really. I'm sure someone got. I don't know whether it was in one of the main event cards or main event fights. Someone, sorry, it was like just a punch to the body, but it was like just below the belly button, and it was like. It wasn't a low blow, and the ref was like, "Oh, you got to watch that." It's just, and then they showed it in the replay, and it wasn't low at all.
I think it might have even been in the Masvidal fight.
That might have been it.
Yeah, it was. It was. He hit him sort of in the waistband.
Yeah, and it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's not fucking boxing.
It's not boxing.
Like, I hate that fucking pad that boxers wear. I think that's ridiculous. You got MMA fighters being able to knee, punch, elbow, kick in the lower stomach, but in boxing, they, especially heavyweights, they've got the bigger gloves on, they feel the need to have this fucking stupid pad that like always rises up anyway, especially with the fat guys. And they're always having to adjust it, push it down. It's like, man, that would feel so uncomfortable wearing that.
No, it's true. It's true. Also, just allow takedowns and leg kicks, innit? Fuck it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fuck it. Right, in this fight, Pete, between Santos and Bogatov, it was Big Mark Goddard. And he was quite animated. So there was a cup shot. He told him to stop, keep your hands higher, be careful. And there was a second cup shot. So he sort of stopped his fight again and was like, mate, you need to stop. And then, Pete, Bogatov drops Santos and knees him in the head while he's down. And Mark Goddard's face, Pete, he was fuming.
So this is the same guy did 3 fouls?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. So he took it to the side, he stopped the fight, and like obviously because there's no crowd, you can hear Mark Goddard. So he knees Santos in the head. And he goes, "What are you doing?" Like you can hear Mark literally shouting. So he took 2 points off, Pete. Took 2 points off for that. So the unanimous decision they went to Santos. Yeah, Bogatov was a bit of, I don't want to say he's a dirty fighter because that's just sort of tarring him with a brush for only seen him fight once. But yeah, 3 fouls in one fight. You know what I mean? Calm down,
Yeah,
mate.
Jesus.
The
That's
next one, go on.
I was going to say, I think if I remember Goddard later on in the card as well. I messaged my mate. I was just like, I fucking love Mark Goddard. You just hear him talking to people. He's like, I think he was telling, it might have been, was it Masvidal and Usman? He's telling them to keep apart.
Yeah.
Maybe, and then he's like telling them not to talk to the corner. He's like, "I've told you, shut up, just shush, shush."
So good.
So everyone, I can understand when there's like a crowd there and the corners maybe trying to say to their fighter like, "Go to his body, he's hurting the body" or something like that, but they're not meant to be coaching them. But there's no crowd there, and you can hear him talking. He's just like, "Look, shut up! I've told you, no talking."
Away from your corner, away from your corner. He just sort of like separates him, doesn't he? I love it. No nonsense, no nonsense. The next fight, Pete, was Mukwin Amir Khani against Danny Henry. Danny Henry from Scotland. Amir Khani was he looked really, really impressive there. He's one of John Kavanagh's boys, Pete, one of your boys.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, it was really, really impressive from Amir Khani, flying knee attempt into a single leg and basically just rolled him into an anaconda choke and basically choked Danny unconscious. Did you see this one?
I saw the highlight of that one, the choke. Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic sportsmanship. As soon as he choked him unconscious, he jumped up straight away and sort of picked up his legs to try and get the blood flow back. And obviously, like bowed. I like seeing that straight after. But it was a fantastic performance from Amir Khani there. I'm hoping to see him against a ranked fighter next. We also had Elazio dos Santos against Muslim Salikov. This was a really, really exciting fight. There were some big hooks thrown from dos Santos, some big shots. Salikov with a takedown. Dos Santos finished the first round on top. Round two, dos Santos he was trying a lot of spinning attacks. There was one point where dos Santos tried a spinning attack. And Muslim basically like caught it in midair, slammed into the ground. As it was like, don't try that, mate. Don't try that shit, cunt. It was so funny.
I'll have to watch these.
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was a really even fight. Really good strikings. Lots of spinning attacks, spinning kicks, spinning elbows. Salikov won by split decision. I've got a little note to have a quick chat. Not to spend too much time on it, Pete, but this fight for me, and if you watch it back, maybe you'll agree or disagree, but I don't think there's enough draws in MMA where, do you know when a fight's just so even and no one's really been done? Like, why do you think they're so, like, they're so reluctant to give draws?
I don't know. Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because with all the judging stuff that's going on, I've been listening to like some podcasts this week as well after it, and just everyone putting pressure on the judges and that, which in some cases it's rightly so, but then maybe they're just too like, oh fuck, I can't give a draw here, everyone's going to bite my head off, I've got to either just pick a winner, because it's just like, I don't know, maybe, or they're just not watching the fight. They're just like, fuck it, I'll have to put that one down. It's 50-50.
It's so weird. I'm Joe Rogan and
Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Have you listened to all of it?
Yes.
I've got like I think they've just finished the main event. So there's maybe another hour. I think they carry on talking or whatever. But
right,
so funny, man. But even Joey Diaz, like, he sounds out of it, but like, he made a good point. So fucking funny. What was he saying about a guy who goes to his job or something, but his daughter's just told him she wants to be a prostitute.
Yeah. It's so true. I don't know what the judge has been through in that day. I don't know what the judge's emotions is like. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's a great point.
And now he's got to think about his daughter with dicks in her face.
So true. It's so true.
But yeah, that's what I mean. But he said about, say you're at home or you come home and you watch something with your missus or something, and then you start thinking about something else. And she asked you saying, you haven't been watching the last 5-10 minutes. It's like, everyone does it, but you'd expect in that situation every single judge to be, as soon as that bell goes, they're just focused on that fight. But you never know. Like, even me, like, watching the card on Saturday, I'm sort of texting my mate and then going back to the fight and then going to get a drink, coming back. And then, but even when the fight was on, I'm just sort of sitting there looking at it and I'm like, shit, I didn't even pay attention. I don't know who won that round. Like, I wasn't scoring it. I was just watching it. Like, maybe they do get caught up in the fight sometimes. Yeah. And then it gets to the end of the round, they're like, oh shit, I didn't score that round. So
I
fuck.
hope not. I hope not.
No,
But
no.
he was right in what he was saying. He was like, I want the judges to be on alpha brain. I
Yeah, it's
think,
so funny.
and to be honest, like I say, there's no point us two who have no say in MMA whatsoever talking about it. You know, if Joe Rogan is not going to be heard with these kind of matters, but they're bang on what they were saying. I think there needs to be 5 judges, if not more. I think the judges need
Yeah.
to be trained. I think you need to have, like Joey Diaz was saying, like be a purple belt. Like just if you haven't rolled around on the ground or been punched in the face, what are you judging, bruv? Like,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Or even go through some sort of like exam, like just like if say you wanted to be a judge, it's like I know this. I've done a bit of jiu-jitsu and I know my stuff, but then maybe make them sit through some fights that maybe they wouldn't have seen, like maybe not UFC fights, but other organisations like lower level ones, and just go right, score this fight, and then at the end we'll tell you whether you were right or not, or like, and then you can give us your reasons why you think that person won the fight. And I fucking guarantee a lot of them would be like, oh yeah, I think this guy won. Okay, why? Because he knocked him down in the first round, and then that's it. It's just like, yeah, but what about the other guy smashing him and taking him down in the next 2 rounds?
yeah,
It's just like, I guarantee some of these people ain't got a fucking clue.
100%. They're just from the athletic commissions. They're just the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
boxing
it's crazy.
judges.
Or like, yeah, well, surely they've all got some sort of boxing judge, like sort of, surely they've judged some sort of boxing or something. They can't just be like a random person, but like, it's just different, isn't it? You can't, and I'll go, and they get boxing wrong as well. Like, not, maybe not as much as MMA because I don't really watch boxing anymore, but there's still boxing fights where you're like, what the fuck? How did that guy win?
Yeah, 100%, 100% agree. But then again, there is an argument to say, Pete, that judges are a judge. They're there to judge who they think won the fight. Like
Yeah,
their
it's true.
decision is, that's the whole point of having a judge, is because they're looking at it from their point of view and they can see. I think that's a shit argument, but just playing devil's advocate. I also, I just feel like they need to be just a little bit well trained. There's so many ex-fighters that could be judges. They just let them do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I also think that it's a completely different sport with the same judging criteria as boxing. Like,
Yeah,
MMA is boxing. You know, in a fight, it's boxing maybe, I don't know, let's say 20% of the time, maybe 15% of the time. There's kicks,
yeah,
there's elbows, there's clinching, there's takedowns, there's jiu-jitsu. Like, how are you getting a boxing judge to judge it? It's like getting a fucking football judge
yeah,
to judge netball. Like, oh, because it's got a ball in it. Like, no,
yeah.
it's a different sport.
Maybe they need to just like rehaul the whole thing as well, because it's not maybe like to cut them maybe a little bit of slack. It's like, how are they told to judge? Like, are they told to like a takedown at the end of the round is really like that's worth like 5 points or something if they was doing if they was just judging it on points, but like a big right hand that drops someone, that's worth 10 points or blah blah. Do you know what I mean? So someone might look at takedown or leg kicks. I bet a lot of them look at leg kicks and go, well, he's just tapping him in the bottom of the leg. It's not that bad. It's like maybe they need to go through a whole thing of how to judge the fight, like what to look for, like damage, aggression, all that sort of stuff. But then obviously they need to do an overhaul with the actual points as well. It's fucking, I don't know, it's tough.
It definitely needs a change. You could do the old robot. Was it Robot Wars? Style, control, and aggression. Style, control, damage, and aggression. That's what they need to be judged on. That's what Robot Wars was. Anyway, I think personally, I think this was the perfect candidate for a draw. Like, both fighters look great. Both fighters with, constant offense, lots of attacks. Like, when one got to the ground, they got back up again, and the other one would take them down and got back up again. It was just, a perfect fight for a draw to me. But Salikov wins by split decision. The only similar to, I don't just want to keep repeating, Rogan's points, but it's just a similar to, you're taking away, because there's win bonuses and performance bonuses.
Yeah.
You're taking away money from these people. Like, for me,
Yeah.
from that performance, Dos Santos didn't deserve to get paid less than Salikov. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't really think about the win bonus thing until I heard like Joe Rogan talking about it. I thought, yeah, it's good. Like, obviously the winner should get more money, but then if they are winning on decisions that ain't their decisions, then that's where it gets a bit fair enough. If they knock the guy out or submit him, and then it's like, yeah, obviously you're the clear winner, but maybe they need to do away with that and just have finish bonuses. I think, I don't know, like just give people more incentive to actually go for the finish. I know everyone always says like you're in all these fights, you're fighting in the best organisation in the world, and the better you fight, obviously, the bigger names you get, and the closer you get to the title, the bigger paydays. So these guys should be going for the finish all the time. Like no one should be cruising, but then obviously they get you will have fights where there's like a stalemate, and they're just like as good as each other.
Exactly.
So there needs to be. They do this because it's a shame, really, because it's so exciting watching it. Like I know it's only, to be honest, a lot of I've not really watched an event where it's been like 10 bad decisions in a row, or like I've been really pissed off. It's always like one or two, which sort of ruins it a little bit. But like overall, I just enjoy watching the sport. But I think it does need changing. They can't just like stay the same. I don't think.
Definitely.
With all the things like the gloves you just said about the cups, there should be better inventions and shit like that. It's just they could do so much more to like improve the sport.
Definitely. And the good thing about it is it fills me with a little bit of hope is that it's such a young sport. So, you know, it's still evolving, it's still developing, it's still young, it's still growing, much like this podcast. Listen, Pete, did you see Volkan Ozdemir against Yuri Prochazka? Did you see this fight?
Oh, hang on. Maybe I was just sort of subconscious. did Ozdemir lose?
Yes, very badly.
Yes, no, I did. Yeah, I did see this. Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah.
So,
He got tagged a few times, wasn't it? And it was a bit like, oh fucking hell, like he can't take too many more of them. Yeah, I do remember it. Yeah,
it was unbelievable performance. So this was Yuri Prochazka is it was a light heavyweight fight. He was offered a UFC contract previously and turned it down. And he wanted to continue in Rising because he wanted to get the experience up. And I really like that. He's a fighter from the Czech Republic. Such an interesting style to start off. He was dipping his head. He had low hands. He was talking. He was looking away. It was just such an interesting style. He kept doing the thing where he kept like grabbing his wrist.
Yeah.
And then
like sort of exploding. Yeah. It was. But at first I thought he was just adjusting his gloves, but it was almost like the hands behind the back, but in front of the belly. It was so fucking weird. And yeah, to be honest, he did take a few shots as well, but then he just walked straight through him.
There was one point where No Time was, I like calling him No Time, Volkan Ozdemir. I think it's a great nickname. But there was No Time was tagging him. And then as No Time was sort of popping out the jab, and fucking Yuri was fucking putting his head forward, butting his hand. I was like, right, this geezer's gone. It was brilliant. And then
it's crazy.
And then, oh my goodness, what a KO. He wobbled him with a head kick and then a fake to flying knee and then landed this unruly right hand and absolutely slept him. Ozdemir was out, like literally unconscious on the ground. It was a good job the ref got in there when he did. Can't remember who the ref was, but it was a great stoppage because if Yuri landed another shot, it could have been really dangerous. But I'm really excited about this guy, bruv. Really excited. I just love interesting people. Like, I'm going to remember him now. Like, I'm going to definitely remember him.
Yeah, even the way I sort of remember him talking afterwards as well. He's like, yeah, he wasn't happy with his performance, or he said he knew he made too many mistakes and left his face like in there too much and stuff like that. It reminded me a bit of who was the Eastern European girl we said we liked the other week. She was really scatty afterwards in her interview.
Yes.
I can't remember her name, but
she had a wicked performance. Bless her, yeah.
And then she just come out of nowhere and just like, yeah, it's good to have fighters like that coming through.
Definitely. I'm trying to remember what card that was on because that was a really, really exciting fight actually.
That whole card was good. I'm sure that was the Josh. Was it the Josh Emmett card as well? Not have been that one. There was a few good knockouts on that one.
I think it was. So yeah, really excited to see this guy and what he can do. So yeah, we will see. And again, I'm going to remember him for No Time. You know, a bad win, but he's still a contender. I know he's not going anywhere. I'm sure he's got a few good fights under his card, and he's still young. So let's not write him off. We'll move on to the main card then, Pete. Amanda Ribas against Paige Van Zandt. What did you think of this fight, Pete? Not really a lot to think.
No. To be honest, like my honest thoughts was like, this is a girl that's been training her whole life for this and fucking seriously dedicated to like being a champion, and it's just in her blood. And then you've got this other girl that's been saying lately that she could have got paid the same amount of money if she had a 9 to 5 job and all this, and she makes more money putting up nude photos on Instagram or semi-nude photos, shit like that. And as soon as I saw her like bouncing around, I know this isn't nothing to do with like she can do what she wants, but as soon as I see her like bouncing around and her boob job going all over the place, I was like, "Fucking hell!" I just thought to myself, you're not in it as much as this other girl is.
Yeah.
And it was just it was maybe it was just like this girl is actually that good, but fuck it, yeah, she just didn't do anything. And I've seen Paige before, like she usually goes out there and fucking tears,
Yeah.
like oh, I don't know, it was just different. It was just maybe she has got too caught up in not being a fighter. I know she had some injuries and stuff as well, and it was fucking thank God she fucking tapped as well.
God,
But,
yeah,
that would have been bad.
would have been
Yeah,
bad,
this other fucking Rebus is fucking sick.
like you said, a lifetime martial artist. Like her dad taught martial arts. She's grown up in gyms and stuff. And yeah, I don't know if Paige is in it anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, she's one of the fighters that's helped put women's fights, on the map. So fair play to her. But Amanda really looks like a contender in the flyweight division. It was a bit of a weird position this night. It was an armbar tap. She did, but it was like Amanda was sort of underneath. You normally got the armbar when they're on their back, but she was like underneath her.
So it's like belly down, wasn't it? Yeah, so it was, fuck that. She did try and roll, wasn't it? I remember she tried to roll like forward and just weren't going nowhere. It was sick technique.
Fantastic technique. Yeah, Paige tried to sort of jump out of it by sort of doing like a, sort of weird kind of handstand position, trying to get out of it. But yeah, just did not stand a chance against that. We'll see what's next for Paige. Maybe just the fighter lifestyle's not for her anymore, and who could blame her? Like, when it's either, get paid for, the way you look, which is fair enough, or, just get punched in the fucking face for a living. I think I know what I'd rather do. And it's not just... It's not just like the women for this one as well. Like, look at is it Luke Rockhold? Like, he started doing a bit of modelling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'd rather do that.
Oh, I'd fucking rather be an Instagram model all day long. I just don't have the body for it at the moment.
No, or the face. Right, next fight was this was Jessica Andrade Peter against Thug Rose. This was an amazing fight. Rose from the Trevor Whitman school of striking. Both looked really sharp, really good exchanges. Jessica with it was a lot of upper body movement from Jessica, moving the head a lot, Pete.
Oh yeah, I know. I noticed that as well. It was funny, like just because they said like from the first fight she sort of just comes forward in a straight line, and this one was like, fuck, that must be tiring as well. if you don't usually do that, and then all of a sudden late in your career you've got all this mad head movement, but Rose is just so sick, she's still catching her. It's just like, it's only a matter of time before she started landing her strikes. But fair play to both of them. It was fucking like non-stop. It's so good.
Non-stop action, such a good fight. Really, really impressed. I personally, even before the decision, I said I thought that Rose did enough. But again, Pete, this was a win by split decision. It's like there's a judge sitting there that thought Andrade won that fight. Like, mate, what are you watching? I don't know, man. It's just it's infuriating. Do the judges know what the other judges scored? They don't, do they?
I doubt it. No, they're quite far apart. I think they're like quite split out around the octagon.
They don't have access to numbers either, do they? Have you seen that?
What, no significant strikes and shit?
They don't have access to stats.
It's fucking weird, man. You know what I did during lockdown and stuff? I started watching some old like boxing fights, like well, not old ones, but ones that I just missed, like big ones. And one of the controversial ones was, both of them was really the two Canelo Triple G fights.
Okay.
And hopefully, obviously, they do a third one. But the way I was scoring it, and it's probably a bit easier in boxing, but I used it was weird. I just imagined that there was like a bar, like a health bar in a computer game.
Yeah.
And the dots in the middle, and then say Triple G landed a good little combo, I'd sort of imagine it going towards him, and then if Canelo come back, it'd go back to the middle, and then if Canelo hit the combo, it'd go to him, and then blah blah blah. And it was just a weird way of scoring it, because I'd get to the end of the round, and if it was a clear round for one of the guys, it'd be like, oh, the bar's all the way over by Triple G because he landed the better combos and Canelo didn't really do anything back. But I don't know what these guys do. I don't know whether it's just like I don't know whether they just wait for something big, like one big shot, and then they hear Bisping go, oh, and then it's like, oh fuck, oh that must mean that girl won that round, or it's just even listening to the Fight Companion with Joe Rogan. A lot of a lot of it in the Aldo fight was a lot of it was all Aldo. Whatever Aldo did, they were like, oh, Aldo's caught him again. Oh shit! And I wasn't really watching it like that. I thought it was like even all the way through, and I was just like, it's just weird. Like other things might change people's perspective, or other people around them. That's probably what it is. Like they're probably thinking, oh, Bisping and other people know more than what I do. Maybe they can hear and what they're saying. I don't know. It's fucking. I reckon they're just not. They're not 100% taking responsibility for being their own judge. I think they're being influenced as well. Maybe by like damage and shit. They might have looked at her eye and at the end of the third and gone, she looks pretty battered there. Like maybe that other girl won that round. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. What I used to, when I was watching boxing growing up and I was judging, I'd do a similar thing to you. What I'd do is I'd get literally a piece of paper and a pen, and I would put a line down the middle of the page, each fighter's name on each side, and I'd basically just ink on either side of the page for every time a fighter did something. So if there was a sick combination, I'd scribble on this side, and if it was constant pressure from one fighter, I'd be scribbling, and then if the fight stopped, I'd stop, and then if another fighter was coming on, I'd scribble on that side, and whoever had the most ink on the side won. That was it for me, and that's how I used to do it. And I used to think this must be as simple as this. Like whoever's got the most ink on the side of their page wins a fight. But
what if their fucking pen runs out?
I used pencils first. I kept snapping.
Yeah,
but it's just I know obviously like I was young and I'm obviously breaking it down to like the really, really bare basics of a sport there. But I don't know. Maybe it's do you know what? We'll come on to judging in a minute as well, because there's a fight that I think was again, the judging decision was a bit weird. We're speaking of Aldo, Pete, moving on to Jan versus Aldo. Like, what did you think of this fight, mate?
Yeah, I think it was great. I think it just come down to, I think Jan's just a monster. I reckon he can fight at that pace, fucking like 10 rounds, and not get tired. And his strength just carried, like the power was still there. With that shot that sort of dropped Aldo, or the little combination, it's just like he can carry his power into the later rounds. He can take punishment. Didn't realise how bad his leg was until after, and you see him. I think he was posing with his team, and he had like a massive ice pack on his lower left calf. So he's just one of them fucking Russian machines. Just like, but I thought Aldo looked sick as well. Like for the early rounds, like maybe if it was a 3-round fight, like, do you know what I mean? I know he's been in some wars and stuff. I thought Aldo looked sick. Like he looked strong. He's bringing his kicks back again. It was exciting. I think like the whole card. I think I spoke to someone and they said it wasn't as good as some of the cards that have been on already, but then. The 3 main fights were just people that were like on par with each other, I think, or just sort of either cancelling each other out, or so there wasn't like, well, that in that fight there was the finish, but I think all the way through I couldn't really pick a winner. I think he just got tired as well. I think he was just tired, and then as soon as that, because I remember they hugged, didn't they? In the last round, they come out like hugged, and then out of nowhere it was like boom, oh shit, he's down. It's just like yeah, Jan's like, yeah, we can hug, but fucking, there's still one more round to go.
do you feel like it was? Do you feel like it could have been stopped a little bit earlier? A lot of people were saying that it could have been stopped. I know Joey Diaz. I don't know if you've got to that point in the new fight companion
so
yet.
Fuck me, that was fucking
so angry.
Well. Yeah, was he? What was he? They was all shouting, weren't they? They was all so pissed off.
Stop the fight! Stop the fight!
Yeah, stop the fight! He's like, what did he say? He's like, fucking Aldo's going to have a headache for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Fucking so funny.
I think it probably could have been stopped a bit earlier.
Yeah, watching it, I didn't really. I was because you could hear the ref going, Aldo, you got to move, you got to do something,
and he would.
And then slightly, yeah, but then Jan stopped punching. And I was like, oh, maybe he's fucking knackered and he's actually going to like see this out. But then he just didn't move after that. And he I think Jan sort of just took a breather and then just started going again. I don't think it was the worst one I've ever seen, like the way everyone's going off about it. I don't know why, but Yeah, I don't know. But then
No,
he
no, no. I
just,
know you're supposed to protect the fighter, but no, I don't think it was really bad.
yeah. Mm. What do you think? What do you think though? Do you reckon he's fucking? I know that's how exciting is that though? All them people just waiting underneath.
Oh man, I'm really looking forward to like Jan and Sterling. Like, you know, even Cody's
Is
in
that
there. Like,
is that the next one?
I hope so, bruv. I can't really think who else would be like the contender now. Like,
I think it's Sterling. Thinking about all them fights that we've been watching over the past couple of months, I think Sterling stands out, and
Yeah.
it's just the size of him as well. If he can fucking get him to the ground and just do what he did to Sandhagen, then fucking hell.
Impressive.
But
Yeah, I'm really, really
someone
excited.
like Garbrandt, that'd be exciting. That'd be like who's getting knocked out. It's just.
Yep.
Mm.
And it kept calling Jan the boxer Jan, the boxer Jan. I'm thinking, mate, he's not just a boxer, is he? He's fucking throwing kicks and all sorts.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Give him some credit. Fucking hell. But yeah, it was just a really, 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 really exciting fight. A lot of close rounds, great counter shots. But yeah, it was a big stoppage from Jan in round 5. He's just raining down shots. Aldo was pretty much busted open. Jan was isolating his arms and just landing really, really heavy shots. So a clear winner there. Jan not leaving it to the judges because who knows what would have happened in a situation like that. Very quickly then, Pete, just moving on to Volkanovski versus Holloway. Really, really strong opening from Holloway. The first round was definitely a Holloway round. Alex was landing some really heavy leg kicks on Max throughout the whole fight. Massive head kick landed as well, giving Alex some wobbly legs, which Holloway actually mocked him and sort of started, pretending that he had wobbly legs as well. I really like that. I had Max 2-0 up at that point. He was shushing John Anik at one point. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What was? Do you know what
I'm guessing that's for the Zoom stuff. I think people are saying because he said he trained or done all his training by Zoom.
Right.
And I think maybe either John Anik or someone said something like that's bullshit, or they don't believe it, or it's just or they did believe it and said it was a bad idea.
Right. Okay.
So I'm guessing it was something to do with that. But I thought I'm gonna have to watch it again actually, because I think it might be closer than what I think. Maybe Volkanovski did a lot more than what people think.
Right.
But probably just from the leg kicks. But I did have Holloway up 2-0 as well.
I'd Holloway winning the fight, to be honest. I thought it was a tough fight. I just thought Max did enough. I thought he was, throwing the more significant strikes, as the UFC loves that term. But yeah, they gave it to Alex. It was a great fight. It was really, really exciting. What do you think happens now with the featherweights? Do you want to see Volkanovski? Obviously the third fight, there's no point because obviously Volkanovski's done it 2-0 now. I'd love to see Holloway as a beat. I'd love to see that, something like that.
Oh yeah. That's what I mean. That like someone like that sort of fight. There's not really for us fans. It's not really like we're going to lose out because there's some people that think Holloway won that fight. So it's like they'll see him as like the top of the pile, so he can just fight anyone. I really want to see Volkanovski against some other people as well. I don't really like it when he goes into like apart from DC Stipe. That's going to be fucking so exciting. Like certain trilogies I want to see.
Yeah,
but, it's good. It'd be good to see Volkanovski fight someone different.
Yeah,
just
really, really exciting. So yeah, again, it was a close fight, but I did feel for Max again. I'm a really, really maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm such a big Max fan, but fair play to Volkanovski. They did a lot. Peter, the last fight was Kamaru Usman against Masvidal. What did you think of this fight?
Started off really exciting. It was a bit like I didn't know what was going to happen. There was even certain moments where I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like Usman's out of his depth with the striking. So yeah, there's some exciting moments at the beginning. We don't really know how fit Masvidal actually was, whether he was properly training or not. But at the end of the day, I think just fucking Usman, man, he's just the focus on him as well. Like I sort of forgot as well as I was just listening to the other podcast. I forgot about it. Like Joe Rogan says, Usman just walked across the cage and stood in front of Masvidal, raised his arms as he's getting his name called, and then you hear Tony Hinchcliffe goes, "Look at that! Look at the focus on that guy's face." And it's just everyone all week's been talking about Masvidal, but Usman's just kept it cool. And there's something about him I really like now. It's just like I don't know. He's just a I honestly think he could move up like straight away and fight the best in like the middleweight division, and
Right.
probably do fucking well against them as well. He's so big for that division, and just with everything, I think he's got like showed his striking against Colby. He can do it for 5 rounds as well. That's the scary thing. He's like he can strike and wrestle for 5 rounds, and just like looks like it's nothing. But he leaves it open for Masvidal as well. He done well on 6 days' notice. Didn't really like get fucking smashed or nothing like that. But just got out wrestled, I guess.
It's disappointing with Masvidal. He had 2 cuts as well that were opened up with a couple of accidental head clashes, which is obviously a little bit frustrating for him. But if he's performing like that on 6 days' notice, I'd love to see him with a full camp to see what he can do. Where he was having most sort of joy was in the scrambles, and then after the scrambles there'd be a little bit of space created and he was throwing some shots there, but then obviously that's good in the first round because he's full of energy, so the shots that he's able to land are going to be damaging. By the 3rd, 4th and 5th rounds, you know, even in the scrambles and stuff, when he gets a little bit of distance and Usman's not all over him, the distance he was using, he couldn't really throw anything anyway. He's just so tired. He looks a bit laboured. So it was a bit disappointing. Obviously, it's not really the kind of fight with both fighters at their peak that we kind of deserved as fans. And I think Masvidal knows that. He's already said he wants to run it back. What do you want to see now, Pete, in the welterweight division?
I think I'd rather see Burns, to be honest.
Okay.
I think seeing that Masvidal fight, even though it was like late notice and stuff, I still think like style wise, Gilbert Burns is going to give him like the closest match. I just picturing it. I think if Gilbert Burns got there after having like a full camp, just the momentum that he's got as well, and just what he did with Woodley, it's almost like he's a replica of Usman, of what he did to Woodley. Just beat him the same way, showed his wrestling, and he's got like mad striking as well. So I think that would have been a closer test. But I sort of hope they give it to him, and then like Masvidal could still have massive fights. He could fight anyone, fight Diaz again, or like whoever in the welterweight division. It's just, I just think Burns should get his chance.
Definitely, yeah. The obviously being coming down with Corona and stuff like that is, it can't be helped. So hopefully they don't rob him of that opportunity. I think he deserves a title shot. Just finishing off, a couple of other key takeaways from the card. Fight Island looked sick, and I'm glad that there's going to be some more fights there. Also, Bisping on commentary, Pete. I think it's brilliant, man. I just love it.
Funny.
I just think it's great. Like it's so good to have that bit of comic relief every now and again. Like you need it. It's and he's perfect because he knows what he's talking about. Everything he calls is correct. Like he knows the techniques, but he's having a laugh when he's doing it.
Who else was there? Was it just Tim and Anik?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you reckon they're going to do that just for the whole thing, or?
Don't know.
No. Paul Felder's commentating, but then he's allowed to go and corner his fighter, his teammate, because apparently something's happened with one of his teammates. I think he's fighting tomorrow actually, and something's happened with his team. Either one of them's got corona or something like that. So the team was around each other, but I think his fighter's all right. So he ain't got no corner. So they're going to let Paul Felder get up and go and corner him during the fight. It's fucking sick.
Fair enough. I like shit like that. That's good.
That'd be so good.
That is good. Speaking of tomorrow then, Peter, we've got some fights coming up. I'll quickly just go through and we can have a quick chat about them and then we can wrap this one up, mate. The prelims for tomorrow, it's just a UFC fight night, Fight Island. It is the main event of Calvin Kattar against Dan Ige. Just starting with the prelims, we've got George Gonzalez. He's going to be fighting in the light heavyweight division. Doesn't have an opponent yet, so we'll see what happens. We've got Jack Shaw against Aaron Phillips in the bantamweight. That'll be really exciting. Both really good strikers. Diana Belbita against Liana Jujua. That'll be exciting as well. Jared Gordon against Chris Fishgold. Modestas Bukauskas against Andreas Michailidis. Ricardo Ramos against Leroy Murphy. And John Phillips against Kamzat Kamaev. And then the main card, we have Abdul Razak Al Hassan against Munir Lazez in the welterweight. We've got Molly McCann against Tyler Santos, women's flyweight. Big Jimmy Rivera is fighting against Cody Stamen. That'll be exciting in the featherweight to see if anyone's going to be testing those guys there. Tim Elliott against Ryan Benoit in the flyweight, and then Calvin Kattar against Dan Ige in the featherweight division as well. Featherweight division's really, really hotting up at the moment. Exciting fight. I love Calvin Kattar. I think he's sick at boxing. Ige, who did he beat Aldo recently? I think he did, didn't he?
That was that close one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Aldo or someone they fought? No, was it Aldo?
Let me just check. I know he beat someone where I was like, no, sorry, it was Barboza.
And Barboza was pissed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck? But Ige's coming off a 6-fight win streak. Last 2 fights by split decision. Kattar, on the other hand, is just like he's just looked so good.
That would be a great fight against either Holloway or Volkanovski, I think, if he's up to that. What is he ranked? He must be ranked.
Oh yeah. No, they're both ranked. Calvin Kattar's number 6 and Ige's number 10.
Right. Okay.
The last loss for Kattar's obviously just recently knocked out Jeremy Stevens, but his last loss was to Zabit. Zabit's in there, Pete, and I'm excited to see him fight again. I love watching Zabit fight. So
Can they leave yet? Can they leave Russia yet if he's in Russia?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Unless he's not there, because I know he trains in America, doesn't he? But yeah, I don't know. It's weird with that one. Yeah, there's even in that division, bantamweight and featherweight, they're probably the 2 I'm most excited about at the moment.
Definitely, so exciting. I think this card, and I don't want to jinx it, but because relatively no names jump out, obviously the main event, but you've got no names that really jumping out at you. There's got fighters in there that are going to be a lot to prove. I think this card's going to be really, really, really good. When are you going to be able to watch it then? Thursday, I guess.
Unless I stay up.
I
might have a nap. I could just nap if I get in at. Has he got the times on it? I'm guessing these are all going to be the same times, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so it would just be 3 a.m. again.
It's a shame they don't put them on earlier. Fuck's sake.
Well, it's for America, isn't it? So the because they're only 3 hours ahead of us. Yeah, so the first fight would have been at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So weird.
I know. It was good though. I remember when I was in Australia and I was watching. The card would usually start at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. You get down to the pub and get something to eat, get some beers, and it's fucking sick. Then you got all day to carry on drinking afterwards.
Recover. You just need some good knockouts to get your adrenaline going. You're like, fucking come on.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Really excited.
Sorry, go on.
Just saying, I'm really, really excited for it, Pete. Yeah, really excited. We'll have to catch up because there is more fights coming up on Fight Island. Let's have a look what else we've got, because we also have, I think we've got Benavidez Figueiredo, haven't we? Yeah, so we've got Sunday or Saturday night for us, Figueiredo against Benavidez to see who is going to be contending for is that for the flyweight title?
No, that's for the title. Because remember Figueiredo missed weight, but then there was a clash of heads, and then I think he knocked Benavidez out on it. So that's a rematch thing.
Running that one back. Jack Hermanson's fighting Kelvin Gastelum. Mark Diakise's fighting Rafael Viziev. So what we'll probably do then, Pete, unless we can catch up later on in the week, we'll see, depending on how good the card is. But the next time that we link up, if we do it next week, we might have 2 UFC events to run through. So that'll probably take us about 3 hours, knowing us, because we're just fucking rambling about next times. But yeah, Peter, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. Really excited for tomorrow's cards, for the weekend's cards. If we don't catch up after tomorrow's, we'll catch up next week. And I'll see you then, mate.
Sweet, mate. See you later.
Thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on Instagram at Strikeforce, Show Motion Studios. We're all over the socials. Thank you very much.